Attracting more tourists than any other continent, a trip to Europe is like taking a trip back in time. While every place in the world has its own history, what makes Europe so different is the effort that has been taken to preserve their historic buildings and monuments. But though many visit Europe to see its history with their own eyes, this beautiful continent is also filled with some of the most modern locations in the world. So join Travelers Nirvana as we take you on a tour of 25 of the best places to visit in Europe. Number 25. Copenhagen, Denmark. Copenhagen has been repeatedly crowned the happiest city in the world. This Scandinavian city boasts a strong culinary cuisine, stunning museums and churches, and excellent public transportation. Denmark's capital city is divided between the eastern coast island of Zealand and the island of Amager. Originally a Viking fish village, the city's origins date back to the 11th century, initially referred to as Merton's Harbour. Today you can visit the city's Gamut Strand neighborhood, where the fishwife statue stands as a remembrance of the old fish market. The city's oceanic climate means that the most pleasant months to visit are June, July, and August. Copenhagen's Christmas market is a must-see for those able to bear the cold weather when the city comes alive with the Christmas spirit. The public transportation system makes it easy to get around the city, but if you'd rather see the city by bike, you can also take advantage of its popular cycling paths. Enjoy the city's famous culinary scene, where you can sample a wide array of international foods, but don't forget to embrace traditional Danish staples. Hot dogs are hugely popular here, as are Danish pastries, rugbrød, a form of rye bread, and smørrebrød, a sandwich made up of rye bread with a layer of butter, cheese, meat, and even some garnishes placed on top. For the culturally inclined, Copenhagen is the home of many theaters, including the Royal Danish Theatre and Copenhagen Opera House. Tivoli Gardens, an amusement park in the center of the city, is another popular destination that offers concerts, musicals, ballets, rides, and stunning views of the city. Whether you are there for a day or a week, you won't regret losing yourself in this dreamy Nordic city. Number 24. Krakow, Poland. Situated in the south of Poland, this beautiful city of Krakow is a must-see. Its dazzling architecture and rich history make it one of Eastern Europe's most popular tourist destinations. The Old Town area of Poland's former capital city became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1978. Krakow's history dates back to the 10th century, and today you can still walk through Market Square, where you'll see everything from the city's Middle Age beginnings to its still-standing medieval buildings. Stop at a local cafe or restaurant and soak in the sights of the city's many landmarks. In Old Town, you'll find the nation's oldest university building, Collegium Maius, now part of Jagiellonian University. Jagiellonian University also homes the Revered Museum of Pharmacy, where you'll see the vast collection of historical equipment, medical books, documents, and many more. Art lovers will be enchanted by the Zaworski Museum, home to Lady with an Ermine, a beloved 15th century piece painted by Leonardo da Vinci. Krakow has many churches and cathedrals. Visit the 1,000-year-old Warsaw Cathedral to see where many Polish monarchs received their coronations. Inside are various types of architecture from Gothic to Renaissance to Neoclassical. There is also St. Mary's Basilica, a church dating back to the 13th century, that still serves as a place of worship today. In the Podgorzo district stands a memorial to the people of the Jewish ghetto in Krakow. Also, don't forget to sample the city's pierogies and kielbasa, and enjoy the local beer and vodka. Number 23. Bruges, Belgium. Belgium's northwest picturesque city is a year-round tourist magnet. This canal-based city is often referred to as the Venice of the North and served once as the area's chief capital city. Today is a mixture of old and new, maintaining its medieval origins while becoming a hub for festivals and sports events. Famous for its fairy tale-like streets, a walkthrough through Bruges often feels like a journey back in time. As one of Europe's best preserved medieval towns, the historic center of Bruges became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2000. Its most famous sites are conveniently located near one another, and the best way to soak in the area is to stroll through it. This city is known for its craft, especially its world-famous lace, which can be purchased in the various shops situated throughout the city. All the necessary Belgian staples can be found here, including beer from the De Halfman brewery in the historic center. The market square offers a variety of foods such as frites, more commonly known as French fries. There are also many chocolate shops in the city, a must-visit for any tourist in Belgium. Remember to check out the city's upcoming events when planning a trip here. Bruges is the home to many music, cultural, and food festivals, as well as sports events like the Tour of Flanders cycle race or the UCI Road Racing Championship. Number 2. Ljubljana, Slovenia. Slovenia's capital city is the center of the country's economic, political, and cultural identity. As the winner of the European Green Capital Award for 2016, this city is a pedestrian's paradise, and much of it is close to motor vehicles. With its unique architecture and intriguing stories and legends, this enthralling city is bound to captivate its visitors. Ljubljana's architecture tells the story of its history. Its historic center remains intact, where you can see influences from the Roman period and the Middle Ages. Earthquakes have forced the city to rebuild several times. During the 20th century, Jose Plotnik helped transform the city by designing many of its iconic buildings and bridges, and creating its unique cityscape. Visitors will notice the Ljubljana coat of arms contains a dragon, and you can see it drawn on Ljubljana Castle and Dragon Bridge. Believed to be adopted from St. George, the dragon is the city's protector. There are dragons throughout Ljubljana, making it known as the City of Dragons. This city doesn't just boast a rich history and a cultural scene. Its stunning views, uniquely designed bridges, and many restaurants and open-air cafes have turned it into a romantic dream. The central town square is adorned with a statue of Franz Presen, a poet famous for his sonnets. It has served as the muse for artists and writers alike, including Paulo Coelho, author of The Alchemist. Number 21. Valletta, Malta. Valletta might be much smaller than most of Europe's other capital cities, but that doesn't stop tourists from flocking to it year-round. Its size makes it easy to walk from one attraction to the other, guaranteeing that you'll be able to see everything that the city has to offer. Europe's sunniest city is often described as an open-air museum and is one of the few places where the entire city is recognized by UNESCO, rather than just a neighborhood like most other cities. The best way to get around the city is by foot, and don't forget to check out the city gate, the main entry into the city, or a merchant's street where you can explore churches, souvenir shops, and cafes. Valletta's laid-back atmosphere means that bars and restaurants have a casual ambiance, where you can enjoy a meal in a renovated storeroom or relax in a rustic wine bar. Number 20. Budapest, Hungary. Despite its somewhat harsh weather, Hungary's capital city is a tourist favorite year-round. Located on the Danube River, Budapest's vast array of architecture and iconic monuments will leave you breathless. These city's museums, churches, and synagogues captivate culture seekers and historians. Take a trip through the city's past, where you can visit museums that recount all eras of its history, from the Roman period to the days of the Nazi occupation. Budapest's first baths were built during the Roman Empire, when the city's thermal springs led to the Romans making it their regional capital city. The ruins of those baths can be seen today alongside the ones still in use, dating back as early as the city's Turkish period in the 16th century. Today, visitors and locals enjoy the calming allure of the city's many thermal spas. Lunch is this country's most important meal of the day and consists of multiple courses. Budapest's many restaurants give visitors the chance to sample authentic cuisine. The city has also become a popular party destination, where bachelor and bachelorette parties go there to ride party buses and enjoy Budapest's bustling nightlife. Alcohol in Budapest is cheaper than in other European cities, and its people are known for being welcoming, making Budapest Party District an excellent stop for those wanting to enjoy the city's party scene. Number 19. Seville, Spain. The city of Seville sits in the southern Andalusia region of Spain. This vibrant city is famous for its flamenco dancing, bullfighting, Moorish influence, and world-famous religious attractions and museums. Seville's most famous attraction is the Real Alcazar Palace, which demonstrates the vast history of the land with influences from Moorish and Christian culture. There are flamenco shows throughout the city, and dance classes are available for those wanting to learn it for themselves. Seville is also home to the oldest bullfighting ring in the world. For those who don't want to watch the sport in action, the ring also has a museum that demonstrates the sport's history. With Spain being famous for its artists, it is no surprise that the Museo de Bellas Artes is a must-see for visitors. The building served as a convent before it became an art museum and contains work from Goya and Murillo. Food lovers will rejoice at Seville's food scene. The city has many tapas bars, commonly accompanied by an extensive wine list. There are many options throughout the city, from places established as long ago as the 17th century that serve traditional tapas, to modern restaurants that offer contemporary feel to the beloved Spanish staple. Number 18. Dublin, Ireland. Dublin is quickly becoming one of Europe's most beloved cities. People might find themselves initially visiting Dublin to see some of its many literary attractions or to soak in Irish history, only to learn that the true lure of the city is its welcoming locals, who will happily enjoy a drink with you while they tell you their favorite joke. Literary icons walk the streets of Dublin, and over the years, the city has served as an inspiration for many stories and poems. Even today's most famous authors are often spotted writing at a coffee shop or walking the city's streets. There are many exhibits dedicated to the city's impact on the written word, including the Museum of Literature Ireland, where you'll be able to see the first copy written of Ulysses by James Joyce. The city's growing diverse population has transformed its food culture, from offering traditional meals to food from around the world. Of course, it is also necessary when in Dublin to enjoy a pint of Guinness at a local pub. Number 17. Edinburgh, Scotland. Few cities are as recognizable as Edinburgh, Scotland's capital city. It sits on 7 hills, the most noteworthy being Castle Rock, where Edinburgh Castle stands proudly. A walk through Old Town's winding medieval streets will leave you transported back to the city's early days. Proudly mixing its history with modern day, this city has inspired writers and artists for centuries. Edinburgh Castle has served as a prison, fortress, and royal residence. Since the 1600s, it has been used as a military base, although it is now mainly a tourist attraction. It is home to the Scottish crown jewels and has many artifacts from Scottish history. Parts of the castle are open for tours, and around the exterior are also multiple cannon fires and spectacular views of the city and its surrounding areas. A trip to Edinburgh would be incomplete without seeing the Royal Mile, the name given to the street that slopes from Edinburgh Castle to Holyrood Palace, the official residence of the British monarchy when they are in Scotland. Arthur's Seat gives the best view of the city. After a few hours hiking up the extinct volcano, you can see the entire city and its rugged outskirts. Originally one of 4 hill forts, this site dates 2,000 years ago. Number 16. Helsinki, Finland. Finland's capital city continuously ranks as one of the best and most livable cities, and in 2021 was ranked by Time magazine as one of the greatest places in the world. Helsinki stands atop 315 islands, and the city's breathtaking scenery is one of many reasons that people flock here. This modern capital city's relaxed atmosphere makes it clear why locals and tourists love it. Once a part of Russia, buildings with Russian architecture are still prominent. Solomina, an old sea fortress built to keep out Russian invaders, is now a tourist hotspot and is often referred to as the Castle of Finland. Its famous cathedrals also represent Russia's time in the city, notably the Pence Cathedral, which was modeled on a church near Moscow in the 16th century. Multiple green spaces make it easy to walk or cycle around the city. Esplandi Park is one of the most popular green spaces where friends meet for a picnic, and there are also events such as concerts, fashion shows, chamber orchestras, street performers, and local cafes to enjoy a coffee. Number 15. Tromsø, Norway. Seated in the Arctic Circle, people flock to Tromsø to see the Northern Lights. However, this city has much more to offer than just views of the Aurora Borealis, and its midnight sun and stunning location will leave you breathless. Tromsø offers many ways to see the Northern Lights. The Fjellsen cable car runs until 11 p.m., or tour groups where local experts will show you the exact spot to get the best view. Tour guides recommend going from late September to early March for the best views. The city's fascinating history spans back to the Ice Age when humans first occupied the land. Remnants of its early days have been discovered over the years, including building remains and artifacts. Inside the city sits the Arctic Cathedral, one of Tromsø's most iconic buildings. Built in 1965, this piece of modern architecture mixes the traditional cathedral structure with glasswork, and an organ designed specifically for the space. Whether winter or summer, there is always something to see and explore in the Norwegian town. Number 14. Sintra, Portugal. Sometimes overshadowed by its neighbor Lisbon, the hilly city of Sintra is home to many castles and palaces, green spaces, and historic estates, as well as being one of the wealthiest parts of Portugal. During a drive through the mountainous Serra de Sintra, you can see the city's multiple palaces and castles that are scattered throughout the pine forest. Its Moorish origins are on view in the ruins of Castle de Moros, a castle atop a peak that guarded the entire region. There is also the medieval Palace de Sintra, a popular spot for early rulers of Portugal. The most recognizable palace is the Palacete Nacional de Pena, famous for its warm yellow exterior. Its interior is now returned to the former glory of its days serving Portuguese nobility. There are many hiking spots for those wanting to explore the city's rugged scenery. However, you might encounter a paranormal presence, as the Sintra Mountains are known for having unexplainable supernatural activity. Number 13. Berlin, Germany. A city known for its tumultuous past, Berlin is now a thriving world city. With With its many galleries, museums, sporting arenas, and music venues, Europe's most populous city is a cultural hub. It is home to world-renowned universities and attracts students from across the globe. This diversity is something to offer anyone that visits. Many memorials stand in remembrance of the city's past. One of the most famous is the Memorial to the Murdered Jews of Europe, also known as the Holocaust Memorial. It is thousands of slabs that are organized in rows, set up as a memorial to the Jewish victims of the Holocaust, and is situated where the Berlin Wall once stood. The Memorial of the Berlin Wall stands in the middle of the capital where the last piece of the wall is preserved. It is displayed for visitors to understand how the once divided city has evolved and to respect the cost people paid for the border that separated the city. There is also the Topography of Terror, a museum opened when the secret state, SS, once had its headquarters. This exhibition documents the terrors of the Nazi reign. Brandenburg Gate sits in the middle of East and West Germany, meaning it was in no man's land at the time of the Cold War. Berlin is also a diverse shopping location with so many flea markets that shopping tours are available to ensure that tourists find keepsakes that they will forever treasure. Don't forget to stop by the famous market halls around the city to sample street food, which ranges from traditional German delicacies to international food that shows the city's vast array of cultures. Thousands of artists live in Berlin as its art scene continues to grow. It is home to hundreds of art galleries as well as the famous Art Street. Its artistic flair also makes its theaters and philharmonic orchestra an integral part of its identity. Number 12. Prague, Czech Republic. As the Czech Republic's capital city, Prague's mystifying beauty is fast becoming a beloved tourist destination. Prague has withstood overthrows, wars, and revolutions, but has managed to hold on to much of its medieval architecture. The center is a UNESCO World Heritage Site due to its largely preserved maze of cobblestone streets, cathedrals, and bridges. Walking down these 14th century streets is often described as feeling like you've strolled into a fairy tale. The city is known for its cheap flights and affordable hotels. Its top attractions also offer free admission. A must-visit is the Prague Castle, a heavily restored castle complex with architecture ranging from the 10th century to the present day, in the location where the president's office is located. It has become a trendy spot for bachelor and bachelorette parties where groups can go on a pub crawl, tour one of the city's many breweries, and take a beer bike tour. Number 11. Istanbul, Turkey. Istanbul is described as being made up of many different cities. An ancient, colorful city, it is no wonder that visitors find themselves enchanted by the city's religious buildings and historical sites. Istanbul is the only city in the world located on 2 continents, serving as a bridge between Europe and Asia. The bustling European side of the city is where the famous Blue Mosque and Topkapi Palace are situated and where visitors can embrace the bohemian atmosphere in a local cafe or wander the historic streets of brightly painted houses in Balat, a Jewish quarter. Across the river on the Asian side is a much calmer part of the city. The boat tour in the Bosphorus Strait shows the city's awe-striking terrain and mesmerizing buildings. It is also a food lover's paradise with a fish and produce market and many restaurants. Whether shopping the Grand Bazaar or touring the holy sites of Sultanate, this unique city will mystify visitors. Number 10. Cordoba, Spain. An ancient city in the southern region of Andalusia in Spain, Cordoba is where multiple cultures unite. Once the Islamic capital of Spain, Cordoba is home to the Mezquita, a century-old stunning mosque considered one of Islam's most important buildings. In the 10th century, the city's residents held a mixture of religious beliefs, with Christians, Jews, and Muslims living together without conflict. There was a time when Cordoba was the biggest and most advanced European city. Its streets were paved and lit with a central water supply. The sophisticated city boasted public bathhouses, many mosques, libraries, and schools. Those glory days are still visible throughout modern-day Cordoba. As Spain's hottest city, visiting in the autumn or spring months makes for a much more pleasant experience than in the summer. Its local bar scene spans the length of the historic center and is the perfect place to stop and enjoy a refreshing drink. Local dishes are also served throughout the city, like salamore, a tomato soup served cold and topped with chunks of cured ham and a hard-boiled egg. Number 9. Stockholm, Sweden. A city of waterways and lakes, Sweden's capital city of Stockholm is located on multiple islands and peninsulas that flow into the Baltic Sea. This friendly Scandinavian city is famous for its rugged scenery, fascinating history, art scenes, and many more. Stockholm has been Sweden's biggest city since the 13th century, weathering centuries of unrest. Gamla stan, the city's Old Town neighborhood, is a journey back to its medieval history. Visitors will feel as though they've been transported to the 13th century by navigating the narrow, meandering streets. Stockholm is also the place to visit the Vasa battleship, a homage to its maritime past displayed in the Voss Museum. The ship was salvaged in the 1960s, and 95% of the display is the original vessel. Its maiden voyage began in 1628 when the ship, intended to be an integral part of the Swedish imperial fleet, sank. This city is also famous for its green spaces and is both walkable and cyclable. Its restaurants often source local ingredients in their menus as a part of the city's efforts to be environmentally friendly. Its year-round festivals mean that there's always something to do. Whether you're interested in the Stockholm Beer and Whiskey Festival or one of the city's many film festivals, it is guaranteed that there will be something that fits your taste. Number 8. Tallinn, Estonia. Tallinn is Estonia's capital city and combines the luxuries of a perfect holiday destination with its well-preserved historical sites. Its size makes it possible to see the entirety of the city in a few days. Tallinn's popularity is growing quickly, and it was named one of the best remote work destinations. Nature lovers can embrace the nearby wetlands and observe the area's wildlife. Old Town is a must-visit. It has all of the historical sites that historians crave, combined with different places to eat and drink. Locals suggest even throwing out your map and immersing yourself in the surrounding area. It is even possible to sample medieval knighting at Hold Hasana. The city's defensive walls were built in the 13th century, and for just a few years, visitors can walk along them while learning the history of the walls. Tallinn is a thriving art scene, especially known for its street art. Around the city, you'll see many murals, each telling its own unique story. Number 7. Vienna, Austria. Austria's capital has repeatedly been voted one of the most livable cities in the world. It has green spaces, public parks, and vineyards. This city's parks and recreational areas make visitors and locals feel less like they're in the city and more like they're in the middle of nature. December visitors get to enjoy the city's famous Christmas markets. There are also multiple palaces to explore, like Hofburg Palace, Schönbrunn Palace, and Belvedere Palace, where they can tour the buildings that once homed Austrian royalty. Those searching for culture can enjoy a night at the Vienna State Opera House, the iconic opera house that has been in operation since the reign of Emperor Franz Josef. Classical music is a must in Vienna. The Viennese Philharmonic Celebration celebrates the country's rich musical history by performing works by composers like Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Ludwig van Beethoven, and many more. Don't forget to enjoy a Viennese coffee or sample hearty Viennese cuisine from one of the city's many restaurants. Number 6. Athens, Greece. Athens is the oldest capital in Europe and is the birthplace of democracy and Western civilization. A visit to Athens wouldn't be complete without seeing the Acropolis. It served as a fortress and religious site for ancient Greeks and was built during the civilization's golden age. Today, the iconic structure is well preserved and one of the most recognizable parts of the Greek city. The city is home to the world's first ever stone theater, the Theater of Dionysus, where visitors can take in the theater's unique design and see elements of what made Greek theater so famous. Another must-see is the Panathenaic Stadium, where the Panathenaic Games were once held and where the Olympic Games in 1896 and 2004 were hosted. Whether you plan to visit some of the city's many ancient ruins or enjoy a relaxed meal with a glass of wine, the city of Athens will leave you mesmerized. Number 5. Venice, Italy. Venice is one of the world's most unique cities. Famous for its canals and gondolas, tourists flock to this Italian destination to enjoy the city's stunning architecture and picturesque views. The city of Venice is built on a group of 118 islands and has over 400 bridges. Even with it being a hotspot for tourists, Venice maintains tranquility that is hard to find in other major European cities. St. Mark's Square is the heart of the city. Visitors can revel at its architecture while exploring its many gift shops, cafes, and restaurants. The San Marco Bell Tower, also known as the Campano, is not to be missed. The original tower was built in the 12th century but collapsed in the early 20th century. Since then, it has been rebuilt and is now the 5th tallest bell tower in the country. Carnival sweeps in the city every year. Venetians took the event so seriously that in 1608, the city ruled that anyone wearing masks outside of Carnival would be punished by either a few years in prison or a public beating. Its romantic streets and canals leave visitors breathless. A gondola ride around the city is one of the best ways to see it, and its intimate feel will make you forget that there is anyone else around. Number 4. Paris, France. Paris is world-renowned for its stunning cityscape, delicious cuisine, history, and culture. Dubbed the City of Light, Paris dazzles its visitors, and one thing is for sure, a trip to Paris will never be forgotten. Part of the city's stunning architecture comes from its many bridges that sit over the river Seine. This river cuts through the city and is one of the world's oldest trade routes. A walk down the Champ de Mars takes you to the Eiffel Tower, the city's most recognizable structure. Another iconic building is the Louvre, where the Mona Lisa is still displayed. Those looking to dive deeper into the city's history should head to the Catacombs, an underground series of tunnels holding the remains of 6 million people. Paris is famous for its shopping. There are hidden treasures on the city, from luxury stores like Louis Vuitton and Chanel to the world's largest flea market. Whether you're there for a night or a week, it is a guarantee that Paris's romantic streets and stunning architecture will blow you away. Number 3. Interlaken, Switzerland. Interlaken is often referred to as the adventure capital of Switzerland, as it offers many types of adventure sports. It is located between 2 lakes in the center of Switzerland and is in a haven for adrenaline junkies. The lakes are ideal for summer visitors to swim in or go for a cruise. The calm waters offer a tranquil surrounding to enjoy the stunning mountain views. Those looking for a more thrilling ride can also try whitewater rafting. During the winter, a train ride takes you to Alpsach Glacier, Europe's largest glacier. For people that love adventure, there is skydiving and bungee jumping, both of which offer a spectacular view of this mountainous town. Number 2. Santorini, Greece. The Greek island of Santorini often advertises itself as the best of all the Greek islands. Home to many vineyards and different ways of making wine, this is the perfect place to relax and enjoy the stunning view while sampling the local beverages. Thousands of years ago, a volcano eruption forever altered Santorini's shape. Today it is a natural wonder of the world, with the results of the eruption still showing today in the island's volcanic beaches and lunar landscapes. Oya Village is even known for having the world's best sunset. The fertile volcanic land has led to flavorful local products with unique flavors. This is how the area became known for its native vineyards and traditional winemaking processes, where they produce wine unlike any other in the world. Santorini's stunning hiking destinations, vibrant nightlife scene, world-class hotels, and bars and restaurants make this place a sanctuary with something to offer anyone who visits. Number 1. Rome, Italy. Packed with history and culture, Rome is a city that celebrates its rich history but still embraces the modern world. There are so many historical sites in the Italian capital that it's hard to know where to begin. The Colosseum remains largely intact and is the largest ancient amphitheater in the world. During the Roman Empire, it was a place for emperors to go and enjoy gory gladiator matches. Tourists can always enjoy the Trevi Fountain's breathtaking architecture and throw a coin into the fountain for a bit of good luck. Enjoy the city's many churches and cathedrals. In Vatican City is St. Peter's Basilica, the Renaissance-style church that dates back to the 4th century, and its current building dates back to the 18th century. A trip to Italy wouldn't be complete without enjoying its local cuisine. The city offers many restaurants that serve various pastas and pizza dishes, and there are also many local cafes where you can enjoy cappuccino and some gelato. While there are many famous sites across the city, meandering its many winding streets might be one of the best ways to take in everything that Rome has to offer. Well, that brings us to the end of this fantastic tour. I hope that you enjoyed it and ask that you please do us a favor and like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications to be advertised when more amazing content is available. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.